Hello everyone, I'm Jasper van Oorik, the CEO of BioWings, and I'm here today to talk to you about our micro-project Rapidos, which is an Interreg Microproject from France, Wallonie, Flanders region. But before I tell you about the project itself, let's start by saying a bit what we do at BioWings. At BioWings, we make inks, cartridges basically, but we don't make inks to 3D print books. We make inks to 3D print cells and tissues. Why do we want to do this? Well, for many reasons, because you could use 3D printing to solve issues with animal testing. You could solve issues with synthetic implants to make them out of living tissue. You can use them for personalized healthcare and to replace donor tissue. And in this specific project, Rapidos, we are focusing on bone defects. So what's the idea here? You have a large bone defect, a tissue defect, and then you make a tissue construct, which you 3D print, which mimics the bone defect. You add cells and growth factors, you put it in a bioreactor, the cells grow, you implant it, and you can regenerate the bone defect. So how do we do this? Well, we take advantage here of a technology called 3D bioprinting. And the concept there is actually quite simple. You take your cells, you put them in your 3D printer, you take a 3D model based on an image on medical imaging, and you 3D print your construct with your living cells. Now, the idea is simple, but in practice it's difficult because cells do not allow to be 3D printed that very easily. So therefore, you need to combine them with materials suitable for 3D printing. And what is the problem if you think about materials for 3D printing? Then you typically think about hard plastics, toxic resins, metals. So not really materials that you can imagine would support cell growth, and therefore we need to have bioinks. And bioinks are materials which are hydrated, which resemble the living tissue, which are biocompatible and biodegradable, meaning that when your cells grow, they gradually degrade this material and replace it with their natural tissue. And what's very important is that they need to make cells 3D printable. So in this Rapidos project, we use a 3D printing technology called digital light projection. A digital light projection is a light-based 3D printing technology where you have a light source on the bottom, a projector, which projects a 2D image into a vat of resin, of a solution containing a polymer, which you can cross-link, thereby solidifying wherever you irradiate it. The idea is that layer by layer, you irradiate the areas where you want your material to solidify, you move your stage upwards a little bit, and you irradiate the next layer. Everywhere where it has been illuminated, your material will cure, will solidify. Everywhere else, it will stay liquid, meaning that over time, you have a 3D printed construct. For this project, we use a material called the resins. This is one of our biocompatible, biodegradable polyester-based resins, suitable for cell culture. And what's very interesting about biodegresins, besides the fact that it's biocompatible according to ISO 10993, is that it has shape memory behavior. This means that after printing, you can heat up this material and you can deform it. If you cool it down, then again, it will stay in this temporary shape. And as long as you stay below body temperature, it will not change its shape. So here you can see if we immerse it in water of 5 degrees Celsius, nothing happens to it. But if you expose it to body temperature, water at 37 degrees, it goes back to its 3D printed tissue. And this is very interesting about this resin. But if you want to use this resin, this is a polyester-based resin, it doesn't really resemble bone. And since the goal of Rapidos is to regenerate bone, we decided to modify this resin. How do we modify this? Well, we blend in ceramics because your bone consists in a large part out of ceramics, calcium phosphate. So we put calcium phosphate powder into our biocompatible resin. The calcium phosphate powder we source from Ceramat in France, in Maubeuge. We combine it with our biocompatible resin, which we developed at BioInks in Flanders, in Ghent. And then we provide it to the Belgian Ceramic Research Center in Mons, where they perform 3D printing using DLP printing. And the nice thing about this, afterwards, you get this bone-like structures, these bone-like inks, which have a higher stiffness and enhanced bioactivity because of the ceramics. It resembles more the natural bone, therefore leading to better bone mimicry. With that, we provide you a small introduction into the Rapidos project and what we are doing at BioInks to 3D print bone to regenerate bone. If you want to follow more, please visit our website www.rapidos-interreg.eu or follow our LinkedIn page Rapidos. Thank you very much. Bye.